NeonicVoid Productions presents.
Hi, welcome to Book Washers, where we talk about our trauma and pain.
And gay
I'm
shit.
And gay shit.
that too. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob, joined today with the lovely and sometimes terrifying. Who the hell are you guys?
Terrifying? Me? I'm not that terrifying.
I mean, it couldn't be me, so.
It couldn't be. I am Devin, the least terrifying and gays, and I'm not the gayest person in the room. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Huh.
And we got the gay gremlin coming out of their stupor in the gay dumpster. Tiff.
Yeah, I'm Tiff. Hi.
The gutter goblin.
I'm not.
The brownie.
The brownie.
The
What the
Do
fuck
I-
does that mean?
what the hell does that mean?
You know, the brownie, the little face spirit.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had that conversation.
Go away! I did not call you.
I was like, brownie, like the food?
You not remember that conversation we had with James? Like what kind of mythical creature we would be?
Yes, I remember the conversation now.
what was
They're
it?
very
What was
proud.
it? What was everybody in that conversation?
James
I
was a
forgot what-
pony.
And James says I'm a werewolf.
Yeah. Oh my god. Slip these gays and fucking wolves.
And then
And
I'm a brownie, which is like a fae, but it's like a whole body
Yes.
fae.
Oh, I know what a brownie is. Yeah. That's why I was like, is he making a Fae reference of the brownies there?
yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Yes, he is.
And we all know in that context, I'd be a fucking leprechaun. Let's be real. Pot of gold. Girl, I can't find it. Can you? I lost
But
it.
I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say, yeah. He's the leprechaun, but without the luck of the Irish.
Well, someone stole my pot of gold and I'm trying to find it. Have I killed a few people to try to find it? Possibly. There's no proof or evidence of that.
I believe you.
Or maybe I'm just trying to find somebody to give the pot of gold to.
Oh.
Maybe the pot of gold's a metaphor.
Wait, don't you already have somebody?
I do, but the pot of gold is pending.
You need that pot of gold?
No, I'm giving it up. Giving the pot of gold up. If you're catching the drift, what I'm putting down.
Oh, I
Are you
know.
picking up what I'm putting down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Fucking gays. Ugh.
Fucking virgin.
Homosexuals. Bitch, I know where you live. I will destroy. I will take a hammer to that bed. I'll take an axe. Headboard, girl, wear. It's in pieces.
Again.
Again. Wait. You broke it the first time?
No, the
No.
delivery people broke it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they broke
Like, damn,
it.
Jacob.
Already?
But like, damn, the first day they delivered it, the damn headboard was broken. The second time they came back with the new headboard, they're all like, "Oh, we forgot the legs."
Jesus Christ.
I was like, "You motherfuckers!" And then the third time they came back, they brought the legs, and then they finally set it up. But it took them a week.
So what book are we talking about today?
Well, before we talk about that book about that one gay,
He's not even gay.
He's fucking asexual. He's a fucking gay.
No, he's not.
He's a gay. He's a queer. He's a gay.
He
has a little sugar in that tank of his. He's gay.
He ends up with Patty Bree. What do you mean?
That's like saying, "Oh, I'm dating Polaris." That's pretty gay.
Do you even know who Patty Bree is?
No, but that name sounds pretty fucking gay. Like girl work queen. Yes, mama. Still pretty gay. There's a little sugar in that tank somewhere. So in the description, in the description, in the fucking show notes, there's a link to all the other podcasts in the NeonicVoid Productions. Please go take a gander at that and be like, mythology, D&D, or gay shit. It's all in there. YouTube is there too. Twitter, there's something there. I don't know what, but it's there.
It's not this Twitter though. It's not for this show.
Hey, my faggy ass has shit to do, and I'm busy, and I lose train of thought. Leave me alone.
You're judging harshly.
Oh, judge all you want, you fucking bitch. So the stuff will be in the
Bombastic
description.
side eye.
So the stuff will be in the description. YouTube, it's on there. If you're on YouTube, hi, please subscribe. Maybe there's a Patreon.
Like, subscribe, comment. It helps the algorithm out. They're working on a Patreon. We're not there just yet, but they will be there.
Maybe if this episode comes out, it's might be there. If it is, it's in the description. Yeah. Is that it? That's it. Yeah. So what the fuck are we talking about today? Because a bitch did not crack open a book. A bitch has never cracked open a book, and a bitch will probably crack open a book at some point, but it's not this title. So what are we talking about?
So we are actually talking about part 2 in the Legends of Dritz. This one is called Exile.
Lovely.
It follows almost directly after Homebound, I believe the book was. Yes, Homeland. I'm sorry. This book came out in December of 2004. It has 333 pages, and it was a very, in my opinion, it's a good read. It even tells you what years in the realm it is.
You wouldn't kiss a dragon. Wait, never mind. That's exactly what you would do, possibly. What the fuck? Sorry. We're gonna fucking post some pleb posted.
A bitch? Do you know what that reference is?
No.
It's like you wouldn't steal a car.
Oh.
That anti fucking piracy shit that they used to put at the beginning of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
God, let's age ourselves really heavily right now. Yeah, so they're like, you wouldn't kiss a dragon. Whoa, wait, no, never mind. You probably would, because everybody in D&D fucking wants to kiss a goddamn dragon.
Or if you're like somebody, you want to make out with a wolf for some reason.
What fucking weirdos is that?
Wolf.
A wolf.
Don't do it. Don't you fuck a wolf. Anyway, book, elf, sugar and tank, gay elf. Got it. Continue, please.
So this book is written by R.A. Salvatore, which everything that we talk about that has to do with Dritz, and the story will be written by the same man. This is, again, the second installment of the Legend of Dritz. The book starts off about 10 years after what happened in Homeland, and it begins in Minzo Baranzon, where Matron Malice and the rest of the Duerden family are still waging war with House Hanet. With the help of Jarlaxle, which is a renegade, and his group of Brigand Diearth, the Duerden family actually win the fight to move them into the 8th position of the Minzo hierarchy. While this is going on, Dritz has been living out in the wilds of the Underdark. He lives in a tiny little baby cavern inhabited by himself and a group of fungus men, or I cannot pronounce that, myconids. Um, it shows him fighting off, well, it starts off with him fighting off a basilisk invading his territory, which Dritz
Oh.
does defeat. Yeah, he can defeat a basilisk at the ripe old age of what, 30?
Mm-hmm.
He then hears voice, which is baby for a dark elf, by the way. He then uses his levitation skills, which is given to him because he's a dark elf, to fly on. Oh, I'm missing shit. He starts to hear voices a few corridors down and decides to investigate. And he uses his levitation to fly up onto a ridge and watch, like to find out where these voices are coming from. And he stumbles upon a group of Zerf Nefli, which are deep gnomes, and they're mining. And he watches them for a little bit, and he watches them fill their wheelbarrows, like practically overflowing, and then they like leave and go home. And Dritz decides to follow them. They arrive at a cavern outside of a city, like with doors. He sneaks through their defenses and watch them go home, and like decides that he doesn't want to follow them, and that like this adventure, it's taking, like, he's at his limit. It switches back to Menzo Barazon, to where Matron Malice goes to the council with Matron Benry, and it's revealed that Matron Sinefe Hanet is to join the Duradin family under the alias of how the hell do you pronounce that name? I want to say it's Cheyenne, but I know it's not Cheyenne. She Shanae, I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna say it's Cheyenne. I know it's not that. I apologize. The eldest daughter who has returned from her travels, from a distant Drow city, which is Ched Nisad. After several days pass, 10 days pass. Dinan and Briza, who are the children of Matron Malice, um, have a small group of soldiers, and they're searching for Dritz throughout the tunnels of the Underdark. And they plan to capture and kill him to try and regain the favor of the bitch ass Spider Queen Loth. And Dritz and Guinevere hear the party and try to evade them. And he doesn't realize that the house emblem that he carries in his pouch is a locator. So they're able to find exactly where his locations are. After like a brief case, he does chase a brief chase. He does figure it out, and he puts the pouch over Guinevere's head, and he confuses the party, and he decides to stalk them. The party comes to a fork in the passage, and Briza tells three to go one way and two the other, leaving her and Dinan alone. Dritz does drop down, knock out his brother, and then with his second scimitar, he holds it to Briza's neck, and Briza tries to convince Dritz to come home, and then foolishly mentions that he would be the new weapons master after the death of his father, Zachnafane. And understandably so, this pisses him off. And she tries casting a spell, and only for Dritz to intercept and launch an attack. There's a fight that happens between them, and Dritz has, throughout his 10 years, basically living by himself, he has developed a new personality, which he calls the Hunter. And it's a part of him that lets his rage get the better of him. and it takes over, and he destroys Briza's six-headed snake whip. And
Oh.
she, yeah, mind you, I don't think this was mentioned in the first book, but Briza used to use this whip um on Dritz while he was being raised there, because I think Briza was the one who raised him. And so, like, she would whip him whenever he wasn't doing what she wanted him to do. And she was known to use it a lot. And he breaks it. And she pulls out a mace, only to be beaten down and have two of her fingers cut off.
Oh.
And ooh,
Yep. At this point, Denon has woken up from him being knocked out, and he tries to go for an attack, but he only, like, he sees that death is coming for him with this fight with Dritz, and he flees. He runs away, and Dritz sets off to try and kill Briza, but Guinevere stops him, pins him to the floor. And it gives Briza a chance of escape. And understandably so, Dritz gets angry at Guinevere and he runs away. And Guinevere disobeys his orders because he wants Guinevere to hunt her down. He wants Guinevere to hunt down Briza and kill her. And Guinevere's like, nah, fuck that. And she returns to her own plane of existence. And after Guinevere decided not to listen, he then realizes that he almost broke his promise to never kill a drow again. Sometime later, whenever Dritz is out hunting, he hears the Zerfneblin and decides to follow them back home. And he decides to hand himself over, hoping that with him turning himself into the Zerfneblin, that they'll become allies. But the Zerfneblin have no idea what to make about his peaceful actions. And they bind him and they bring him into the city. Back in Minzo Baronzon, the family of House Duerden gather in the anterior room where Risen is being abused by Matron Malice. They discuss whether or not they should go after Dritz again. Briza and Denon don't agree with that. They don't want to deal with that again, basically, compared to what happened just recently. And that's whenever Malice gets an idea, and she does a ceremony to bring forth a maiden of Lolth, a Yaklol. And to please Lolth, Malice has decided to sacrifice Risen so that they may regain enough favor to carry out her plans. And as the Yaklol is called, Malice goes to kill Risen, but instead murders Senefe, which gives her just enough respect from Lolth to perform a Zenkarla, which is a spell that reanimates the corpse of a single dead person. And their mind is controlled through the matron of the house. A gift only given to complete a specific task. So who better to bring back from the dead and hunt down Dritz than his late father, Zachnafane?
no.
What a fucking bitch, right? Like,
Oh,
God, I read that and I was just like, you bitch! Oh, you're so evil!
ooh.
God, oh God, it makes me so angry. Oh, but going back to Blendingstone, which is the city that the Zerfneblin live in, Dritz is taken to a single dark room for interrogation. Knowing that death is really the only way out, Dritz kind of accepts his fate. He's perfectly okay with everything. The interrogator believes that Dritz is different and he has no power to help him. And only then does Dritz recall that there was a Zerfneblin that survived an attack, a raid many years ago, and that he asked if he could speak to Belwar Disengulp. If switches back to the house of Durden and the family is gathered inside with Malice and Risen back together. Malice allows Risen to strike the spirit wraith of Zachnafane. But as Risen goes to strike, Zachnafane is quicker than anybody could see, like with their eyes, and kills Risen. I love how this is all happening all together. Like the way that it flips back and forth, it's like, hey, this is happening at the exact same time. Because it goes back to Dritz, and Belwar comes into the room. And he recognizes Dritz. And whenever Belwar basically stood up for Dritz. I remember this conversation really well. He was like, no, like if it wasn't for this drow, like I would not be alive. This man saved my life. Mind you, whenever Belwar walks in, he has a pick on one arm and a hammer on the other arm. Because this was the same Zerfneblin that got his arms cut off as a message. And if it wasn't for Dritz to convince that, Belwar wouldn't be alive. And so he does owe Dritz his life. And it convinces uh the higher ups, the court or whatever, like for him to stay. But he has to stay with Belwar. He's not allowed Guinevere. He's not allowed his armor or his weapons. But he feels at peace. He doesn't feel threatened. He feels fine. He stays in Belwar's house like for several 10 days. Like he doesn't go outside, and Belwar eventually convinces him to go and to go and talk to the kids that are playing outside, because Dritz is basically sitting at a window watching these children play by throwing rocks at a statue of a basilisk. After he goes outside, he does meet with the young Zerfneblin, and he reenacts the killing of the basilisk that he dealt with. But his mind goes back to the hunter persona, and it gets the better of him, and he basically breaks the statue and kind of scares the kids, and faints somehow by the hands of Belwar. Like Belwar like knocks his ass out, and it switches back to blah 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 to Zachnafane. And well, Zachnaphane's spirit, I should say, Zachnaphane's body that's being controlled. He has scouted enough and found the little shelter, the little cavern that Dritz made his home. The little beings that lived with Dritz try to communicate with him, but he kills them all. Zachnafane kills them all. And he also kills a pack of goblins, which later were found by the Zerfneblin. And Zachnafane watches the gnomes and follows their path. During this time, Dritz is reacquainted with his lovely Panther Guinevere and decides to go on a mining caravan with like fellow Zerf Neblin, who he helps them get rid of like a goblin party. During this time, Jarlaxle, which is he's I think he is a dark elf, but he's a very odd dark elf. Like the other drow think he's kind of odd. He doesn't really follow like the drow way, but he's known to have good connection. And he meets with the counselor of Blingdingstone and gives him information from Minzo Baranzan for a very large price. And a Furball, who is one of the counselors, finds out that there's destruction that's wrecked around Blindingstone, and it is caused by the house of Duerden, who is hunting for Drizzt. And the council decides that, look, like, him being here is not safe. He's putting everybody's lives in danger. He needs to go. So Drizzt, having the most joy that he's ever felt in years, living in this city, has been told that he has to leave Blindingstone by King Schnicknick. I fucking hate their names. Because of the threat of Zachnafane. And Drizzt accepts and he apologizes for the trouble that he has caused. And he understands the decision that has been made and he leaves. Belwar tries to fight it. He doesn't want Drizzt to leave. He's very angry at the fact that he has been forced out of his home. And he eventually decides to accompany Drizzt, which Drizzt is very upset that Belwar wants to accompany him. He's like, no, you need to stay home, like live your life. And Belwar's like, nah, you're my friend. I'm going to fucking go with you. Big bro moment. They set up a decoy encampment, and Drizzt and Belwar head off in search of a new home. And they come across a cavern of poisonous like a very poisonous plant that that like a native caterpillar called the grubber eats. They pass an area only to be chased by this caterpillar, which is this huge ass. It's huge, like it's a big ass. They call it a grubber, and think of like the buffalo bullworm from SpongeBob. Like that's how big this bitch is.
An
They
Alaskan
yeah,
bullworm.
the Alaskan bullworm. Sorry, like this thing is huge, and they run away from it, and they find a side passage only for it to become a dead end. And Belwar knows that there is a path on the other side of the wall, and he cuts it down within a few hours. All thanks to his enchanted mithril arms, because his pickaxe and I forgot what his other arm was made out of. And his hammer are made from mithril. Once through, they do climb down into another passage, and they come across a huge chamber filled and there's a chasm, and it's filled with acid, and it's emanating a strange green light. There's a thin pathway that goes over this chasm, and whenever they decide to walk over it, they are ambushed by a group of birdmen crossovers. I don't remember what these guys were called. There's a fight ensued. Like there's a fight that happens, and during this, Guinevere falls into the acid and returns to the astral plane immediately. They survive, and then they make it far enough to gain some distance, and then Drizzt re-summons her, much to like Belwar's disagreement. He did not want Drizzt to bring Guinevere back out, only to find that Guinevere is severely injured, like she's scalded. Like it's, I mean, what else would you expect from, landing into a pool of acid? He decides to send Guinevere home, and then they continue onwards. Um, at this point, Zacnafane finds the decoy camp and destroys it. He is pissed. He's very angry, and he decides that he has been left waiting for Dritz for days. Because he stays at that camp, and he waits to see if they'll come back. And he's like, fuck this, and tears it all apart. The anger that he holds kind of conflicts what the original emotions that the real Zacnafane has. And those two thoughts trouble him as he goes to pursue Dritz once again. During their travels, Dritz and Belwar also run into a human wizard filling buckets in a stream. This wizard is out of his fucking mind.
As they normally are.
No. Like, this guy was fucking weird, bro. Like, yes, wizards are fucking weird if we have Lynn to think about and your wizards to think about and shit. No, this one is off its fucking hinges. This human wizard is fucking weird. He like immediately turns violent and creates a fucking fireball at the sight of Dritz and runs away to escape him. And the only way that Dritz and Belwar survive is by just diving into the stream. After a few days, they find a cavern with a lake and like 3 chambers in it, and they decide that this is going to be their new home. Meanwhile, Zacnafane has moved on to the Grubber's home, kills the Grubber, and continues on his path. After a few days, the cavern is invaded by a hook horror. And Dritz pounces on it to try and kill it. But then, like, he sees the face and notices that it's not actually a hook horror, because hook horrors don't have facial expressions. It is what's known as a peck, and these things this poor dude, it was transformed by the wizard that they ran into, and has been made to wander the Underdark as this monster. And Dritz and Belwar befriend it, and they decide to call him Clacker, because it cannot recall its own name. He has been in this form for so long that he's starting to lose his memories. They set off later to find the wizard in an attempt to turn Clacker into a peck. And whenever they come across the wizard's home again, which is this giant, like, he has that tower. He has that giant ass wizard's tower that he can like summon anywhere, and he basically broke like some of the pathways in the Underdark. And they won't let him in. But Dritz finds a little arrow slit and throws the Onyx figurine into the arrow slit and summons Guinevere in the building, to which the wizard reluctantly lets him in. And they basically bully this wizard into agreeing to change Clacker back. And as he's doing this, he mutters a curse to Clacker under his, like, he says it under his breath. Basically talking mad shit, to which Clacker, with his new amazing ability to hear, because he is now a hook horror, he gets very angry. The rage of the hook horror consumes him, and he kills the wizard. And to his disdain, he now realizes that, like, I have to remain as a hook horror. Zacnafane finds the cavern that is the home of Dritz, the Belwar, and Clacker. And even though his instincts tell him to wait, Malice, who is controlling his body, is so impatient that she sends him off to go find him. And by a different route, the trio go back to the shelter and find that it is trashed. Once again, they make a decision to leave, to put more distance between themselves and Minzo Baranzan. They come to yet another huge cavern, only to sense danger, and they are attacked by illithids or mind flayers, and they are taken under their control. These poor guys go through so much shit in this goddamn book. Like, whenever he got attacked by the illithids and taking control, I was just all like, damn, he can't take a break. He can't have a break at all. This poor man. They all
Leave
become.
Brittany alone.
Yeah, I was like, he hasn't done anything wrong. And leave him alone. They, whenever they come to, and they are under the command of the illithids, the cavern, and they're in a cavern filled with illithids. Like, it is huge, and all of their slaves. Belwar is made a gladiator, Dritz a massager due to his slender, soft fingers for the illithid brain, the main brain that keeps like the what's it called, the hive mind going. And Clacker is left on an island surrounded by a chasm to tend to the herd of Roth. And the three illithid masters who own these three slaves are in their complex. Two of them go to the astral. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So two of them go into the astral plane to go observe Guinevere, and because they have obtained the figurine. And Zachnafane comes into the region, and the illithids are like, "Ooh, he'll make a great asset to our group." He's like, "We must get him. We must control him," and he just slaughters them. He just rips them to shreds and continues on towards the illithid, like the cavern. The two illithids that are with Guinevere return to the material plane, and the panther follows them, leaving one trapped forever in the astral plane. The astral cord is now severed, and latching onto the other returns to help Dritz. She basically takes him out of his stupor. Clacker is trapped on the island and observes the commotion and tries to hit the lever with missiles of Roth and Grey Dwarves on the other side of the cavern to activate the bridge. He succeeds and meets with Drist and Belwar, who have been able to regain control of their minds and have found their armor and all that good shit. Guinevere also meets up with them, and the four of them try to leave. As they are leaving, Dritz actually runs into Zachnafane and starts fighting him, only to be saved by Clacker, unleashing his super peck ability, which is pecks can basically, they're like earthbenders. They can control the earth. They can move it around and to however they want it. They carry on running away, and they are being pursued by Zachnafane and the illithids. And once at a safe enough distance, Dritz says that he will head back to Minzo Baranzan. He makes this decision because he knows that there are drow that would be able to help Clacker return to his peck form. As they are going through the tunnels, they once again return to the acid lake cavern, and Clacker, who arrives on the other side of the cavern first, is murdered by Zachnafane, and Dritz has his final confrontation with his father. Back in Minzo Baranzan, Malice has deteriorated. Her health has gone down because of the constant control of the Wraith, and and how she is continuously losing control of its mind. In the duel, Zachnaphane's personality returns and explains to Dritz quickly about Zincarla before Malice regains control. But before she does, Zachnafane decides to leap into the acid. Permanently, he's permadead. He ain't coming back from that. And Malice screams. She's fucking pissed. But then is killed by Breeza, her oldest daughter, who takes the mantle of House Duerden. Unfortunately for her, a gift of 200 soldiers from House Benry turned on House Duerden and killed the rest of the soldiers, Breeza and Maya. Virna is kept as a handmaiden for the House Benry, and Denon has been taken under the wing of Jarlaxle and his band of rogues. Dritz is completely unaware of this, but he returns to Blendenstone with Belwar, and they depart after a brief stay. Dritz convinces Belwar to stay in Blendenstone and tells Belwar that you truly belong here, and I need to find my own way, my own place. And he's given a few gifts, and he leaves with a map of the Underdark. And he finds a passage that leads to the open lands of Faerun. And the book ends with Dritz and Guinevere sitting upon a mountain ledge, watching the sky with the sun rising, awaiting their next adventure.
Bitch.
And
This third one, boy. We're gonna talk about that in the
Ooh.
next, like in the next episode. But man,
ooh,
I have a lot to say about this third one already. I'm not even halfway done.
And I gotta catch up.
Oh yeah, it's I'm kind of sad that you didn't finish this one, but like literally throughout the whole book, because I didn't read it. I listen. So like I said before, I listened. I do a lot of audiobooks because I travel a lot, and what better way of doing that than listening to a book? I pay attention more. I stay awake more whenever I'm listening to a book than I do listening to my favorite type of music. Ironically, so you would think not, but whenever you're driving back from a concert of that particular genre of music, you kind of want to kind of wind down from that. So on my way back from the 80s concert, I listened to the whole book. Well, whatever was left of the book. And the entire time I was just like, damn man, like Dritz just can't fucking get a break. And the way that he beats himself up over this quote unquote hunter side of him, like he beats himself up over it because like he was so scared that like these kids were going to be terrified of him, that they don't want him around anymore. And then like during that conversation, lo and behold, like what do they hear but a on Belwar's door, and those kids want to play with Dritz again. And I'm just like, this man is so wholesome. I was like, how are you a product of matron Malice? I was
yeah.
like, he just got all the good shit from his father. He got all of the wholesomeness from his father.
Yeah, Malice at this point is just the egg donor.
I mean, Malice is dead. Malice is dead. The whole house Duerden is dead, other than Vierna and Denon and Dritz. That's it. Those are the only ones that have survived. But Virna is now with House Benry, and Denon ran away with Jarlaxle.
Isn't Virna his whole? Isn't she like also like Zach Nefe's daughter?
I'm not sure. She may be. If it's true, then that would have been a conversation that they had in the first book.
Yeah.
And yes, because I remember Zach Nefane like telling Dritz like, yeah, Vierna, like I was hoping that Vierna didn't get swayed by the ways, but like I was disappointed that it happened. But like with you, you're not like them. We are kindred souls, basically. That was like a whole conversation that was not talked about. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I was so mad when they killed off Zach. Like, damn it, he just finally realized that.
He wants to be happy and leave. He gained the
Yeah.
courage
Yeah,
to leave.
yeah,
I mean, I with this book, Zach Nefane was able to take control of his body,
Mhm.
tell Dritz everything that happened, the truth about what happened. Basically told Dritz how much he loves him, how much he's proud of him. And it also gave Dritz the chance to properly say goodbye to his father. You know, like he got that closure, mind you. Then he also had to watch his dad kill himself, basically sacrifice himself that so that matron Malice wouldn't control his body and try and kill his son.
Yeah.
yeah.
Litty titty.
I'm just loving. I just like I'm kicking myself because I didn't read these books a lot sooner because this is some
how,
good shit.
how do you think I feel?
Like I've seen these. Like, I've said this last week, but like I've seen these books on the shelves for years. I've always known that um, R.A. Salvatore like wrote D&D books, and I've always wanted to read them. But at the same time, I was like, because I grew up in that household where my parents thought D&D was evil.
Mm.
So like I was given, it's always told, no, 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 stay away from D&D. It's bad.
Ew.
I know,
Gross.
but now
To
here
be
I am reading them, and I'm loving them.
God, they're so good. Oh my god. And then I just got gifted the board game.
There's a board game.
Yeah, there's a Legend of Dritz board game. I got gifted it. Mind you, like whenever it was given to me, I was told, he goes like, I tried to salvage as much as I could, but the only thing I couldn't get was the miniatures. But those are an easy, like, I could find those easy for you. And I'm just all like, I fucking love you. Thank you. I was like, thank you.
Who found it?
I'll let you take one guess on who got me that get board game.
He
Your
did.
new man.
He
Yeah,
did.
he got me the game. He goes like,
Girl,
look,
you better lock that
he
down.
goes like, listen, this is how much I like you. And he went and he picked up the board game, and he was just like, he goes, I tried to salvage as much as I could. He goes, the only thing I couldn't get were the miniatures, and I'm just all like, thank you. God, it was so overwhelming. That's it. I'm not going about that. I'm not going over that again. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I was gifted one of the books, hardcover as well, last week. And but that one is 28 books later from the one that I'm currently reading. So I'm like,
Jeez
I have to read
Louise.
28 books before I read this one. He goes, yeah, I really jumped the gun with that one. It's okay because it gives me the motive. Like I want to read this book.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna play the game now. Let's play the game. I'll play it.
Oh my god, let's play it.
Let's
Do it.
play. God, we can do it on Wednesday.
Oh my god, if we don't play D&D on Wednesday, we could play that.
Exactly.
Oh my god, backup plan completed.
Yay!
Yay.
It's like-
Anyway,
Because like if players not gonna be there. Okay, so back to the book. Is there anything that you're thinking of? Like any like, in the future for just off of these two books?
Okay, say that again one more time because you cut off like a lot.
yeah, you did.
Sorry. Sorry. I don't know. Are there any predictions that you have for Dritz? Just based off of these two books.
Ooh.
Mm. I feel like his life is going to get a lot better now that he's out of the Underdark.
You
I
think
don't
so?
think so. I think it's gonna get worse.
Well, it's gonna be tough because, like, of course, the surface world,
Yeah.
they don't trust the Dark Elves, understandably so. But Drist has a way of winning people over. So
Aw. He's a
I think
baby
his life is gonna get.
pie.
He's a sweetie pie. Ain't that right, Shelly?
Big sweet baby. Man's like 30 something years old, 40 something years old. I'm like, he's just a sweet
Oh, yeah.
baby.
In elf years, he's only in he's not even an adult.
He is an adult.
Like,
In
well,
elf years, he's
I
an
read
adult.
some what? Oh,
He's
okay,
like
because
a young he's a young adult. Whenever they hit, I think 100 though, it's whenever they can rename themselves. Because that's like true adulthood for them. I believe so, if I'm remembering correctly. But I'm not gonna be looking that up. So if I'm wrong, correct me. But if I'm remembering correctly, that's like 100 years old. That's like whenever they are true adults, and then they can rename themselves if they so choose, and then that's the name that they will go by for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
right. Well, okay then. But
So
anyway,
that's that. That's the second book.
so join us next week. We will be reading the third book in this trilogy, Sojourn, or Sojourn, or however the hell you pronounce that word.
And then after that, we continue the rest of the series back to back. We're probably doing, if we do continue these books, we are not going to be going one after the other. We're going to be going in the trilogies. So whatever the next trilogy is, that's what we'll be covering in total. Because there's like 60 something books in total of like the Sword Coast stories of Faerun. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot of episodes. Let's cut that a little bit.
Yeah. But until then, catch us next time as we continue the story of Dritz. Until then, bye.
Bye.